Hi, and welcome to Cinema Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today I have another movie review for you guys. So, Crawl just released in theaters this weekend. Alright, so Crawl is your brand new Gator film. We haven't had a really solid Gator film in quite some time, so I had to go see it. So, diving right on into the movie, we are introduced to Haley, and we find out that she's actually a college swimmer. She's on the swim team. She actually has a scholarship, so good for her. And, mad respect for being the finisher in your stretch of the team. Solid right there. Honestly, that means that you're the star in your little thing. I don't really remember any of the swimming terms. I'm probably embarrassing Mark right now because he was on the dive team and he actually knows a bit about that. But she's a solid swimmer, and we're introduced to the concept of her struggling with being beat by just hairs of a second. So, of course, she's competitive, and we find out a bit more about her family and about her history, where her father has always been her coach. Her father has always pushed her to be the very best that she can be as far as swimming goes, and he raised her on the concept that she is in fact an apex predator. So, there you go. So we also find out that there is currently a hurricane that is coming through Florida, and she's talking to her sister. Her sister's a bit concerned about their dad because he hasn't been answering his phone, and apparently his entire area is supposed to be evacuated, but hasn't been answering. She's really concerned, so it's up to younger sis to find out exactly what's going on there. So she ends up deciding that she's going to drive out to meet with her father. So we find out that Haley and her dad are both very similar. They're both fighters. They're both stubborn. And currently, they're fighting. So she actually ends up driving out farther into the hurricane and in an area that is supposed to be evacuating. I do love the fact that when she ends up back in her old town, those in charge of the evacuation efforts, she actually knows them, and she's like, hey, I'm just going to go check on my dad, make sure that he's gone, let me through. And of course, they can't tell her that she can go through, but she's stubborn, so she's gonna do it anyway. So she does actually go through the whole roadblock and everything in order to get to her father's condo. That's where she finds a number of different mementos from her childhood, when her family was still together, pictures, photographs, and she finds Sugar, her dad's dog. And if her dad was to evacuate, there's no way he'd leave Sugar behind. And honestly, this dog is a sweetheart. Whoever trained this animal, its handlers, good job, because this dog is gold. This dog's golden. But she does end up going back to their family home that is supposed to be in escrow ever since the divorce was finalized between her parents. And that's when she sees her dad's truck. So she does actually go exploring through the house with Sugar, and ultimately we end up finding her father underneath the house in the crawl space. So the crawl space that has all the piping, that has all of the different drains and all the different outlets for water, because they are in a flood zone. Now, that's when we find her dad. Her dad is injured. He is unconscious, and he's got quite a considerable bite right here, right in the shoulder. So, of course, I have mad respect for this character. Everything that she does to protect herself, to protect her father, to survive. I have so much respect for this character because normally when you see a female in one of these movies, in a creature feature or an animal type survival film, they're the ditzy blonde that, takes your top off and you get killed. This chick is a fighter, and I have so much respect for her. The fact that she can't physically lift her father, but she's able to grab a tarp and to move him onto it to try to drag him out. And then when a gator pops up, yes, there is a gator down there with them, she is able to hurry quick enough away with her father and to get them both to safety. Now, she does make a few little mistakes. So she drops her phone down there. And she kind of needs her phone to call for help. So she does end up having to go past the safety of some of these pipes. I'll tell you, the setting of this crawl space is brilliant for this concept. The fact that the actors actually had to crawl at certain points, actually had to duck underneath piping or rush behind things, and they're able to use that for a little bit of safety from the creatures, that's amazing. Whoever thought of the concept of using the crawl space with all of the different piping, the plumbing, the walls, everything there, brilliant. Definitely put a lot more into this, gotta tell you. But she does, in fact, make it past the piping in order to get to her phone. And she's gotten to her phone. That's when we find out there's more than one gator down there. She's attacked and she's dragged off. We saw a little bit of it in the trailer for this, but I'll tell you, the attacks throughout this film are so well done. The fact that they actually kept the rolling in and the actual shake in, because when a gator attacks you, they'll latch onto something and they'll roll in order to try to pop out a number of the different bones, the muscles, the tissue, to try to rip it off. And that's a big reason why gators are so scary. But her being able to survive this attack, being able to escape everything that she and her father have to jimmy rig, have to fight through, have to do something to try to get out all of their different plans, the ones that don't go over so well, the ones that work without a hitch. I'll tell you, I love this movie. This movie is a survival movie that we haven't seen since The Shallows, in my opinion. I would definitely say if you liked The Shallows for what it was as a shark film, you will like Crawl for what it is as a gator film. Because these, I mean, honestly, shark movies, alligator, crocodile movies, they're all held to a certain standard where a lot of people think they're a joke. You know, that creature features, it's bad CGI and this, that, whatever. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. The horror of it is just enough. The scary thing is you don't know when a gator's gonna pop up in the water. You don't know when there could be one right behind you. You don't know, especially this dog. Sugar the dog just is such a little scene stealer the entire movie. And she's such a good puppers. She really is. I love this dog so much. But there are a few instances where you're a little concerned that the dog might be eaten, and you know, I'm going to spoil it completely. The dog makes it out okay, so we're good there. They don't kill the dog, so good for you, Crawl. You didn't kill the dog. I don't like, honestly, I don't like movies where they kill the dog. I'll tell you right now, I hate movies where they kill the dog. But throughout, using so much of the house as a way to try to protect the family, everything that's involved, even showing the just feeding frenzy of these crocodiles. I feel like those scenes were so well done. Throughout, there was no kind of lag throughout. There wasn't any scene like, oh, well, we could have done without that. Throughout, it was very well done. The action sequences I liked, I respect. A lot of it was quite realistic. And another big thing is, with these kinds of films, typically we've got really bad acting and we've got really unlikable characters, but that's not this film. In this film, it's a tight cast. It's primarily just this father-daughter struggling to survive. And, you know, we do have a few other characters that are thrown in here and there for little snippets, but it is very well cast. These main two actors played off very well as a father and daughter. It's very realistic. And it made you care. It made you fearful for them when they were attacked numerous times. Yeah, that's right. They get dragged off. They have their arms bit, their legs bit, they're twisted around and thrown around. There's actually a really amazing scene where she's trying to alert a rescue helicopter. And the water's just been rising so high, and there's a crocodile, and the crocodile notices her. So yeah, that might be a little unrealistic, but I gotta tell you, I loved it. I loved this movie throughout. If you were a horror fan, if you were a suspense fan, if you are a creature feature fan, if you like shark movies, if you like gator movies, if you like crocodile movies, this is probably your kind of movie. I would definitely say this is probably the best gator film I've seen in a very long time. I'd put this up, I would put that right up there with the original Lake Placid as far as gator croc movies, which I put them in the same category. I'm sorry. But I can't really tell the difference between the two. I'm sorry. But I'd put it right up there with Lake Placid. And I would say this film probably takes the attacks a bit more seriously. Just the fact that you could drown. You could be knocked unconscious by debris and die. You could be sucked into the hurricane and die. You could be eaten by crocodiles and die. Any number of things could happen to you and die. I will tell you, I felt like the ending, the very end, was a little rushed for me. I would have liked a little bit more there. But throughout, this film was amazing. I had fun throughout the entire thing. I loved it. I am definitely going to be buying this on Blu-ray when it comes out. I cannot suggest this film enough. So great. So amazing. The only real downside was all of the parents who brought their kids to see this film. This is a rated R movie. There was a lot of gore. There was a lot of violence. There was a lot of scary, scary stuff, which is great for someone like me who's in their 20s and likes that kind of stuff. But if you're bringing a 5-year-old to a rated R alligator movie where someone is getting ripped apart in a feeding frenzy, probably not the smartest idea. Just saying there. You know, no judgment, but I probably wouldn't take my kids to it because, you know, probably give them nightmares. Just saying, just saying. So yeah, that is it for this episode of Cinema Figures. Please do give me a like if you like this video, comment below, and tell me whether or not you have seen Crawl and whether or not you liked it like I did. Also, tell me whether or not you are going to go see it. Tell me down in the comment section below because, you know, definitely would suggest it. Fun throughout, solid film. Also, please do be sure to subscribe to my channel for more movie goodness. Right now, we are currently in the middle of Sharkathon, so, you know, shameless plug there, but shark movies, yay! Also, please do check out any of the older videos we have up for offer here on Cinema Figures. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye!